Sagittarius.
Hello Sagittarius, and Happy New Year 2013. We're going to take a look at your solar chart just to see what you can expect this month. And I'm going to start out with just the feeling of you being extra special, radiant this month, as Venus is kind of moving through the sector of self. So, Venus is love, so you might have very beautiful energies that you're emitting to your surroundings. And you may also be around people now that are very Venusian as well. We get this transit every once a year, and it's just such a delightful time. Anyhow, the main focus on your solar scope for this month is your financial sectors. There's a lot going on there. So get your pen out. We're going to be mentioning several dates to pay attention to that can behoove you, because actually what's taking place this month for you is going to be setting up the scope for the entire year. So we'll get back to dates, but you're having Venus, so there's talks and there's communications and documents and papers and signings perhaps coming in here. You have the new moon, which is going to sow intentions for the entire year as well. But those dates we're going to come back to, and I'll elaborate a little bit more on that. Looking to Mars, Mars is transiting your house of communication, short distance travels, and how you relate to your environment, your closer environment, neighbors and siblings and people coming and going, and shorter distance travel as well. And it's nice to have Mars there, because it's going to give you that push and that drive to achieve whatever goals you're setting out to do. And so in that sense it's good. But since it's also ruled by Mercury, which is communication, how we speak, be careful to, or balance at least, that you don't become too Marsy in that communication at times, only because, it can be a little abrupt, and it might set people back a little bit. So especially if you want to have them on your team and you want to be moving forward with them, just toggle it just a little bit there, and make sure that you're all on the same page. Then we have some long-reaching transits here, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn, and they're set, they're fixed. They're going to be pretty much in the same areas for the entire year. We have Jupiter that's going to be changing area later on this year. But I want to talk a little bit about them, because they're like what's creating the foundation of your solar scope here. Neptune entered into Pisces last year, in 2012. We all got a little feeling of it, scratched the surface, so to speak, and it, for some, really opened up a lot of creativity. And for others, it created a little distortion, diffusion, and, it can, little muddled water, so to speak. So if you felt that what you had been working for was there on the horizon and suddenly it disappeared, why? Well, that was just due to Neptune. It's like trying to hold a hand of water. What is it going to do? It's going to run straight through. It's here now and then gone. But the thing is, get used to it. Why? Because it's going to be in this sector of your scope, which is the 4th house. It's going to be there for many years to come. And the 4th house has everything to do with your own foundation, your grounding, your security. So you want to make sure, for the first thing, is that your physical location and where you live is going to be secure. And I have to mention water, so you probably want to make sure that your pipes and everything are up to speed and secured. But you don't want to have any leaks, drainages. If you're close by water, well, we've had Sandy, we've had larger hurricanes, so you might want to pay attention, at least specifically, those of you who live by water, if there should be any notices and signs of evacuation in times to come over these next years, heed them, because you do have Neptune now into your 4th house, which means your physical location where you live, okay? That said, it's also a wonderful thing because as Neptune hits into Pisces, that's your creativity. It's also your spirituality. It's all of those ideals that you hold and the dreams that you want to build. And that is going to expand for you over these next coming years. You may be able now to really start reaching for that ideal dream that you've had for many, many years. And it could also mean that you're going to start focusing on your own dream house. You know, how have you envisioned that throughout the last decade or so? You may be able to get that now. So it's not just in the future is here now for you Sagittarians. When it comes to home and home-related matters, family, the way you can give and support family may turn more and more into this idealistic way of what you're able to give and share. So a lovely time, lovely years coming up for you, and it's starting now as Neptune is done with its retrogrades back and forth. It's really hunkering in now and lodging itself there for at least the next 15 years or so. And then you have Uranus in the house of love and children and anything that you consider to be hobbies or leisurely things that you love to do on your off time. You're going to see more of that. What do I mean, more of that? You're going to see more time going into what you cherish as far as diving into your hobbies, making them more real, perhaps even money-making themes coming up for you. Because we have all this setting up here in your sector of your own income, personal income, and this kind of relating over there to this area of hobbies, you could definitely see that something there may be breaking through for you and doing it well as well. There might be some challenges. You might have to break away from some certain old ruts or routines and what you thought being needed to be in place for security in your life. But if that has been holding you back from being creative, well, I have to say that since Pluto is ruling now or in your house of earned income, Pluto ends things, okay? So if you see, at least the early Sagittarians might have been seeing this happening, that some of it has been drying up or ending. It's only because Pluto wants to renew, bring you into new tracks, open you up for your own sense of talents and skills and bring that out. And this is where I feel that a lot of this creativity coming from your hobby arena can come into the mix. You know, do what you believe in. Trust your talents. And this is what Neptune is saying here in your roots and foundation of what is it you love to do. Because when you follow your passion, everything else comes into play. You don't have to think how to get there and how to secure your funds. And you, of course, we always want to know what we have at the end of the month. It's not that, but it's more like it's time to really launch yourself towards what you feel you're here for. What is your life mission, your life purpose? If not to come out with those talents. And it's just the way the universe works. If you can see the outcome and hang on to it, everything else along the journey will automatically come into being. But if you're only focusing on the little steps, how to get there and how to secure, you might lose your goal or that final outcome. You know, you won't see the forest because of the trees. So the thing is, take a tripolar point, look at the outcome of where you want to land. This is where you want to see. This part will just magically appear for you. And this is how how Pluto causes rebirth and this renewal. And since it is in your house of finances, trust it. It will do what it needs to do for you. So you want to work with it, not against it. If you're resisting this Plutonian energy, remember, whatever you resist persists. And you can get stuck in a rut. And it can get scary because Pluto can be very powerful there. But if you open up to it It becomes your friend. It will work for you. So that means you have to make some of these radical changes yourself so you can get out of that pit. Now, having it in your second house of income, Pluto rules big money, not pocket change, and not just the check at the end of the month, living from check to check. Pluto can do magical things for you if you trust yourself to tune in to your talent. That's your breakthrough. And then having Jupiter there in your partnership section, that means you might even be able to team up with somebody who can help you manifest this. So if you know this much of what it is you want to create, but you're lacking this, well then team up with somebody who knows how to, and that can be your gateway. So anybody coming in now with powerful discussions this month, keep your eyes and ears peeled, because they may be, what should I say, angels in disguise. Okay? It's a very exciting month for you. And then we have Saturn currently transiting your 12th area, which is the subconsciousness. It's also the karmic house. It's going to be there for the next couple of years. The last 2.5 years you've been balancing so much between people and relationships and groups and whatnot, so that might have felt like a little bit of a restraint, or that there was extra responsibility on you having to and trying to maintain this balance and make things work. Right now Saturn is kind of moved into this area where it's just resting up a little bit, kind of going a little sub into the subconsciousness and trying to figure, now what can you do? How are you wrapping up this full circle that it's been doing now for the last probably 26 years, 25 years. So you've gone a long journey, and so this rest period over the next couple of years is peeling away. It's in Scorpio, so it's going to really want you to go into your core and be real to yourself, very honest. And so you can come up and out here in a couple of years. You are going to be out there in the world, starting a full new 28, 29 year cycle. So if you're feeling a little tired, well, no kidding. You have been working and working hard and working with intensity here, and with people in high places and tons of responsibility on your plate here the last couple of years, Sagittarians. And then also felt pressure from certain groups and people, because Pluto and Uranus has been a little bit, at heads with each other, and that might have pressurized or also challenged your sense of financial income and security as well. Some of you might have also felt, those of you born early in the sign, like the first week there of Sagittarius, you might have felt that suddenly the faucet was turned off. That suddenly you lost your job, got laid off, or that your company here suddenly was shrinking. And now what with you, and it's scary when those things happen. But I want you to know that the universe always knows what it does. The universe is always unfolding exactly as it should. So by trusting is knowing that when that door closes, there's new doors opening, windows too, and it's to get you up and out of that rut so you can start paying attention to your own higher ideals. If you were still in the treadmill of work and getting your monthly check, well, you'd be so conveniently happy that you wouldn't grow and expand. The universe knows that you are a visionary, right? You always have been a visionary. And so it's time for you to kind of come forward with us. And if the universe didn't put those brakes on and give you a little space to kind of think, what do I do now? Well, then you probably wouldn't be coming up with the ideas that you're going to be launching here pretty soon. And I have to say, this launching can start already here January. So let's get to those dates. Get your pen out. So right before New Year's, go back there to the 30th, 31st, so forth. You had Sun Pluto meeting up with very influential people, or had some talks or came across something that could have sparked a very dynamic, not just vision, but something that could fulfill a part of what it is you're going to be working with now in 2013. The next date you want to see here is great talks, great meetings, anybody inspirational coming in on your path that actually can help you grow wings. That would be on the 4th, 3rd and 4th. And on the 6th, this is where communications with higher ups or influential people, also money communications can come in because it is in that area, that sector for you. If you're going to sign any contracts, this would be the day. A great day to secure you, because Saturn is also in happy relations here with Pluto. So they're both looking out for you to secure you, just not now, but also for the rest of the year. Great time to sign anything. Take a little step back there on the 7th. You might feel a little tired, a little exhausted, a little crabby, or people around you could be a little short and crabby. So try to stay out of the mix. That's just a passing influence there for a day or two. Then we have Venus, which rules this financial sector. It is going to join the party here on the 8th. So now you got a happy little financial group in your sector working for you. How do we do this? How do we get there? How can we set up more financial structure and security? If there's any negotiations now for a new job, this is a perfect time to mention what it is what you foresee for yourself. If you're asking for a raise, this is perfect. So mark that on your chart on the 8th, or close to the 8th there when Venus comes in. The 9th is a nice romantic evening with your other, with your spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, just to kind of kick back and do things that you've been longing to do. And then we have the new moon there on the 11th, and let's talk a little bit about that new moon. Why? Because that is always when we sow our seeds of intentions. And for you, since it's in your financial sector, this is the time you want to think about it in larger terms, because it's not just for January. Normally, you know, those new moons, it is for like the end of the month when you harvest it in. But since it is in this specific sector, you're setting it up for the entire year. We only have a new moon to our financial income sector once a year, and this is the time for you. So think big, think wide. You know, the sky's the limit. Some people like to put coins in the windowsill on a new moon and then take them out on the full moon. You can also write a personal check to yourself and sign it from the law of the universe or the abundant universe. You can fill in how much you want by the end of the month or the end of the year, or you can leave it open and just say to be paid in full. And then you take that in from the windowsill by full moon on the 26th. So, and you can do this every month, every new moon if you wish. But this is the best new moon for you. Moving right along, we have other great days, money talks. Venus and Pluto will hold hands on the 16th and 17th, and also join along with Saturn. Saturn will do the same thing like Pluto did with Mercury on the 6th. Now you have the 16th and 17th. So this is when, if you had some interviews or talks there early in the month, this is when you should be getting some feedback and some confirmation and validation on where you're heading financially. It's a great time for you. Maybe you will get paid money that you've been waiting for, you know. And then we have both the Sun and Mercury moving into your 3rd house of communication, short distance travel, and so forth there on the 18th and 19th. And so you will see that you'll be moving around, being a little bit more in and out, or having people coming in and out for you, visiting you. Social time there for the rest of the month. And then we have also a full moon I want to mention. This will be in your 9th house. So what you will be harvesting then, it's more like reaching out to the world at large publishing something. Some of you might be going out with ebooks, others with real publishing. Some of you might be coming out with tubes. Also, it may be you reaching or wanting to research certain agendas. There's travel or long distance travel, and you Sagittarius, you love to travel, you know, so even if you can't go out on these long distance travels, you might find yourself hovering on Google Earth and going to distant places there and seeing what you can find. It's always a fun time to do that. So, and then lastly, we have Jupiter, which is in your partnership sector. Marriage or partnership is going to turn direct there on the 30th. Thank God it's been retrograding there for several months, so you will see that things are going to take a bump up and forward. And so throughout all of February, we'll get back to your chart next month. But you should see how things here now, any kind of talks with partners will start opening up and become very prosperous for you. So I wish you a continued happy new year, and remember to subscribe if you want your monthly forecast directly sent to you.